Baker is like a little enclave in the middle of this beautiful Eastern Oregon landscape. I took a tour of Oregon, and I was just really enamored with it. I just love the people and the community. And so I acquired this property 10 years ago. It took me about 2 years to rehab this beautiful old building. My home is upstairs. It's a large loft, and downstairs in the front is my gallery and showroom, and we're in my painting studio right now, and then over a few yards that way is, where I work on bronze.
From painting to printmaking to pottery to bronze, artist Robert Anders does a little bit of everything.
I've been in the arts for all my adult life. I like the idea of innovation and making new things, and that heartfelt feeling of producing something beautiful. I love to stand outside and paint and observe the big, beautiful world. Being outside is really the primary thing, and then painting is just kind of a secondary excuse to get outside and be in it.
But since this isn't exactly the best day for that, we asked Robert to show us how he makes bronze.
People have been working in bronze, thousands of years. I just love the tensile strength. It's so tactile and so heavy and so just durable. And it has its own kind of vibrational energy. So it's just a very fun material to work with. My bronze work is primarily a functional object. I love the shape of the bowl, it's functional, and yet it has beauty and elegance. I start off with a lump of clay and work up a design motif, and I actually carve it into the clay itself. Here in Baker City, we're surrounded by beautiful nature, and so I often work with trees or other organic and natural design motifs. It's got to kind of flow out from the center because bronze tends to flow that way. Okay. The basic idea of lost wax casting is to create something in wax. And then from that, you can cast it directly into bronze. So I simply begin to coat my design motif with wax to form a large wax positive. I've always wanted to do this with chocolate. It would make some kind of big, crazy chocolate ball. Whatever is wax will be displaced entirely by bronze. So I'm looking to create a nice, even density of wax for a nice, smooth casting. And then basically, after the wax cools, then you can separate the wax from the clay. And what you had sculpted is in exact negative relief. Then I began to carve it and accentuate the negative space. When it's warm, I can really carve it with an X-Acto knife. And this will go on like this for, I'm guessing, a couple of hours. But I like it. For me, it's a meditation. As it cools and gets closer to room temperature, it becomes very brittle. So I use hot irons to just achieve the look and soften the edge. Wax is just a really beautiful, forgiving medium. You never really know until you get close to the end exactly what's going to open up and unfold. And if there's going to be a mistake, it always seems to happen right at the end. Great thing to do on a rainy afternoon. And now I'm just going to affix a sprue.
In case you didn't quite catch that, it's called a sprue. S-P-R-E-W.
In order for the foundry to introduce bronze to that shape, you need to be able to pour the bronze into that shape somehow. And at the foundry, they'll add vents and so forth, but I add a major sprue, which is kind of like a funnel. I'll just go around it and make sure the sprue is sealed down on there. And there you go. Bob's your uncle. At the foundry, they'll take the wax and they'll dip it repeatedly in colloidal silica and zircon until it develops coats of this ceramic that builds up on the outside of the wax. That ceramic shell then is put into a kiln and it's brought up to high heat. The wax vaporizes out and it leaves behind an exact cavity of what was once occupied by wax. And molten bronze is introduced into that form. After the bronze is poured in, it's left to cool. And then the foundryman will just take a hammer and knock all that concretion away. And what remains then is an exact replica of your wax, but it's now in bronze. And from there, I take it back into my shop and finish it up. Take off all the rough edges. And then I apply a patina to it. I use a very simple patina, first of sulfurated potash. And potash has the ability to stain the bronze, and it just stains it in the deep relief areas. And then I rinse it off and heat it up again. And I spray on various oxides. And that keeps the surface from oxidizing any further, and that patina will then be its natural color from then on. I'm okay with that. At the very end, I apply a very thin coating of beeswax just to kind of protect it and buff it a little bit. After weeks of work, then you can see what you got. I've been working in bronze for about 20 years, and it does connect me with that long line of craftsmen, thousands of years ago. There's that thread of continuity that we're still working in this medium, even in the 21st century. It's lovely to participate in that. This little town has really let me just slow down. And people just come in and kick the tires and smile and laugh, and we talk, and I really love it in that regard. And it's just my privilege to not only to be here, but to be accepted here and to work in the mediums that I work in. Stay dry.